Daniel learned early that crying was a weakness. His father never said it outright, but he didn't have to. Men stood tall. Men swallowed pain. Men fixed things instead of feeling them. When Daniel fell and scraped his knee at 7, his father had said, "You're fine," before Daniel could even decide if he was or not. So Daniel grew into a man who was always fine. At 35, he had a good job, a small apartment, and a reputation for being dependable. When things went wrong, people called Daniel. When emotions ran high, Daniel stayed calm. He was the man who nodded, who listened, who carried the weight quietly. When his mother died, he organized the funeral. He stood beside the grave in a black suit, shoulders straight, hands folded. People cried around him, his sister shaking, his aunt wailing softly, but Daniel stared at the coffin like it was a task that needed completing. He felt something pressing against his chest, heavy and insistent, but he pushed it down like he always did. Later, people told him, "You're so strong." He nodded. That night, alone in his apartment, Daniel sat on the edge of his bed and stared at the wall. The silence was unbearable. His phone buzzed with messages he didn't answer. He felt hollow, like someone had scooped something essential out of him and left the rest untouched. Still, no tears came. Weeks passed. Daniel returned to work. He laughed at the right moments. He told people he was managing. But his body began to betray him. Tight headaches, sleepless nights, a constant ache in his chest he couldn't name. One evening, while cleaning, he opened a drawer he hadn't touched in years. Inside was an old voice note recorder, his mother's. He pressed play without thinking. Her voice filled the room, warm, familiar. "Danny," she said, laughing softly, "you always try to be so brave. I wish you'd let yourself feel things. You don't have to be strong all the time. I worry about you holding everything inside." Daniel's hands started to shake. Something cracked, not loudly, not dramatically, but enough. His chest tightened, his throat burned, and suddenly tears spilled down his face. He tried to stop them, embarrassed even though he was alone. But they kept coming, deep and shaking, like his body had been waiting years for permission. Daniel cried for his mother, for the boy who was told to toughen up, for all the times he swallowed grief, fear, and hurt. He cried until his face ached and his breathing slowed. When it was over, he felt exhausted but lighter, not fixed, not healed, just human. The next time someone asked him how he was doing, Daniel paused. Honestly, he said, "Some days are hard." It felt strange, vulnerable, right? Weeks later, when his sister broke down over coffee, apologizing for crying, Daniel reached across the table and said, "You don't have to be sorry." She looked at him, surprised. "Neither do I," he added quietly. Daniel still believed in strength, but now he understood something different. Strength wasn't about never crying. It was about letting the rain fall when the storm had already been inside you for too long.